What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you all today? And welcome back to another episode of Phenomenal Views. This is going to be my review for the movie Antman, which I really liked. When I first got into the theater, my nephew and I were just sitting there, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to be good, and I was not disappointed. I was blown away by how cool this movie was. So the movie of Antman is about Hank Pym, who is in his prime, who comes to find out that his pupil, Darren, is basically trying to recreate his Ant-Man technology, the shrinking technology. And he's invented his own little suit called the Yellow Jacket, which he's wanting to give to basically make for the army. And right in the beginning of the film, they do talk about how they were wanting to take the technology from him, and he's like, you will never get this technology from me. And unfortunately they do, or they make their own copy of the Pym particles. But one thing that I did like about this movie is they treat Ant-Man like he's kind of a myth. Because he's like, I always asked you, was Ant-Man real? And Hank would be like, it's a tall tale. And I like that they were kind of treating him like Batman. And you know, not because Batman's one of my favorite superheroes, but because I like when they kind of treat the hero like he's a myth. Like he doesn't exist, or he could. And I just like that. Like how they do in the Tim Burton Batman film. You know, hey, I just heard we had another bat attack. Oh, you know, if there was a Batman, we would have caught him. We would have arrested him. There's no Batman. So, kind of like that. So, and he discovers of what Darren is trying to do. And thus we are introduced to Scott Lang, who is just out of prison, and he's trying to reconnect things with his daughter. And the very first thing that we see with his daughter is not like, oh, you know, my dad has been in prison, you know, why should I give him a chance? No. She still loves her dad, even though he's in prison, and he's trying so hard to get her back. You know, when he shows up, they're like, you know, you can't just show up whenever you want. And he's like, it's my daughter's birthday party. I'm going to show up. And so, like, you know, when you start paying child support, we will schedule visiting hours. And I was like, oh, come on. It's a birthday, not a court date. And so, you know, it was really good to see that his daughter and him have a good relationship. And so his whole entire strive throughout this movie is for him to find ways to see his daughter. Even pulling off bank heists and jobs in which he pulls off a heist in which he steals the Ant-Man outfit. And they do a good job with explaining, like, how, oh, you know, I have a degree in electronic, and, like, basically, he could become an electrician if he wanted. But like when he's breaking into Hank Pym's house, and he sees the vault, he explains what kind of vault it is, what kind of metal it's made out of, and how tough it is to break out of it. But it's hackable. And he breaks in and he finds the Ant-Man outfit, and you know, we discover that they've actually been watching him for a while, ever since he was able to break out of a prison. So throughout this whole movie, we find out that Hank and his daughter Hope, who have been bickering with one another, because their relationship is all based on Hope wants to know why he will not let her put on the Ant-Man outfit, why he will not let her do it. Well, actually, that's the same thing. And also because she knows he's not telling her the whole truth about how her mom died. And so they're bickering with one another. He's just trying to protect her, and she wants in, and he won't let her in. And so the chemistry between Hank and Hope is really good. It's really, really good. And even the chemistry between Scott and Hank, and even Scott and Hope is really good, because him as a father, he can see where she's coming from. He's like, you know, he's only doing this to try to protect you. You know, he loves you. And it was just really good. And even throughout the whole entire movie, Hope is like, why should we trust you? Why should we make you the new Ant-Man when you have no experience and I have more experience than you? And they stop their fighting, and when she realizes that he has a daughter, they relate to one another. So, like, she's been really hard on him in the movie, and she's like, you know, I didn't like you at all until I found out that you had a daughter. But so anyway, when Hank steals the outfit, you know, he plays around with it a little bit, and I'm not gonna lie, the CG in this movie looked really good. it didn't look fake. It really looked like this man had shrunk, and he was Ant-Man. It really looked like he was running along with the ants. And that was another thing that I liked that they did. They explained how he uses the ants and how the ants respond. And they explained how he communicated with them, and it was by thought. And so the very first time he tries, he's not successful. And he's like, I can't do this, you know. But then they explain you've got to put heart into it. You've got to mean what you say. So when Hope and Scott are having this conversation in the car, she's like, you know, think of your daughter. Use your determination of wanting to get her back to help to talk to the ants, to make your commands meaningful. And he does. And the work that he does with the ants is really cool. So they devise a plan because Darren has been once again trying to copy the Ant-Man technology, and they've explained that he has not perfected it yet. Whenever he shrinks something, it kills it. And now, this is my only downside to the movie, is when they show him experimenting on sheep. Later on in the film, they just say he perfected it, and they didn't show us. And I really wish that they had, because I feel like that would have been more meaningful. Instead of saying, oh, you know, he just perfected it, they should have shown us what he had to do to perfect it, to make the shrinking be possible. And they didn't. And so when he puts on the Yellow Jacket outfit, the fight is really cool. They fight in a helicopter, they fight on the street, they fight at his daughter's house because that's where he goes, because he knows he can draw Hank out. And he wants to put down Hank because Hank was basically chosen to be the Ant-Man. And it's not that he didn't like that he wasn't chosen to be Ant-Man, is he was chosen and given all of Hank's secrets when Darren was not. And his motives in this movie are very explainable. You know, he hates that Hank took him on and then shut him out, stopped. He's like, you took me on and you trusted me, but you wouldn't tell me everything. I deserve to know. And so I think his motives are very plausible. So when him and Hank are fighting, and him putting on the Yellow Jacket outfit, it is really cool. Now they do explain what happened to her mother. I'm not going to spoil it, because it's really good. And so they pull off this heist, because basically this is a heist movie. And one of the funny scenes is like when he's like, Hank is like, I believe in second chances. Are you ready to take yours? He's like, yes, I promise I will never break in and steal crap ever again. So, what do you need me to do? We need you to break in and steal some crap. I was like, that is hilariously funny. Now, one other thing that I really like that they did with this movie is it is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that means Captain America, the Avengers exist, Captain America exists, and it was really funny because they do bring up, okay, you need me to do this, why don't you just call them the Avengers? And they basically say that they're too busy with bigger problems. This is just a small problem, small enough for us to take care of. And they referenced Avengers too, as like, oh, besides, they're dropping cities. And it was really cool that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Ant-Man is not the only hero, and I like that. I like when there's more than one hero, and I'm glad that they acknowledge that. This movie has a very funny Stan Lee cameo, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is still the cameo from the first Amazing Spider-Man. So yeah, that was good. But so, yeah, basically, they're breaking into this facility because Darren is going to show Hank, I've finally perfected your technology that you would not show me. I've finally done it. So they're going to have Scott sneak in to basically steal the suit and destroy all the data. And when they succeed, they finally show him putting on the suit, and they fight it out. And it was a very good climax, a very funny. This movie had some of the funniest things I have ever seen, and especially from Paul Rudd. From watching him in The 40-Year-Old Virgin to him. Nope, never mind. I'm not even going to reference that movie because that movie was horrible. But yeah, Paul Rudd, I think, was perfect to play Scott Lang. I think him being in this movie was great. I have never read the comics, but I watched some history of Ant-Man on Verity Comics from YouTube, and even though they did switch some things around, like, instead of his daughter being sick, he stole the Ant-Man outfit and he was trying to get money so he could pay child support. He's still doing it for his daughter. So I thought that was an okay switch. You know, like I said, the acting is good, the chemistry is good. The only thing that I didn't like was the fact that they did not explain how Darren perfected the formula. So other than that, I strongly recommend you guys go watch this movie. You know, you will not be disappointed. There's great action, there's great fun. This has a perfect amount of drama, action, and comedy. There's nothing that's overdone. My overall, I'm going to give this movie a B+. And, you know, the only thing that keeps it from being an A, in my point of view, is because they really didn't explain how Darren perfected the formula of making Ant-Man. Now, another thing is they do a montage of, because, you know, of course you have to have a montage, of Hank working with the powers and, you know, training and everything like that. And Hank is like, you know, I've made these little discs. I've never really gave the Ant-Man suit weaponry, but I figured that these could help. And these discs, one is for shrinking and one is for increasing. And so how he uses them is in a genius way. So, you know, but there is a scene after the movie, and I have heard that there is a scene after the main credits. So you should stay and watch it. I might go watch it again today to see what it was, because it was so good. But, yeah, guys, put in the comments below, what have you thought of Ant-Man? Did you like the movie? Did you like how they did the action? Did you think that it was too much? I really want to know. And for those who are watching this video, I really want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to watch my review of Ant-Man. To watch any of my videos, I really thank you. My YouTube channel would be not anything without you, the fans. And, you know, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking, unless you're upside down. If you're upside down, you're going to see the like button like this. But, yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Go watch Ant-Man. You will not be disappointed. Have a good day.